So here we are back with the bus project. You'll notice that from the last time I videoed, we had the metal framing done and welded and ground and primered and rubber coated. Now I went ahead and fit the aluminum on. I've got it cleat in place right now. You'll notice up here kind of how I've done it is I've tucked this top piece up under here, obviously, and behind this one, so any weather kind of goes right on by. So I have this little seam right here, and then again down here I have a seam right here, and this piece here tucks under this original piece that's on here. You'll notice in these holes right here, they're bigger than I thought. I ordered 3/16 rivets because that's what was everywhere else. When I started tearing those apart, they're 1/4 inch rivets. So I have some of those coming. They're not here yet. I want to be able to put these pieces on one at a time and put the sealant under them, and then while the sealant's still wet, rivet them all down permanently. So I'm not going to hook these on permanently yet, but I do have them fit. I've sat the windows in the hole and they look pretty sweet. Anyway, that's where we're at right there. I'm just waiting for those rivets. Hopefully they'll get here today. So now I'm actually going to move forward. I'm going to leave these next two windows in because they'll be covered up by one piece of aluminum from here up to the next window. But these front two windows are going to come out and be done similar to the rear, except they're not 36 inches high like that. They're only 30 inches high. So here all I have to do is put in the piece at the top to give me a flange to attach the window and weld a vertical in at the new window width. So I'm going to go ahead and get some demo done on these two windows while I'm waiting for rivets to come. So these hinges right here, they're the very worst part of the whole project, getting these out. We'll go ahead and give these a go and see how we do. But 90% of them, and it looks like 100% of those. We'll try this front one. Yeah, just like normal, they don't come off. So on the last one, I realized that the easiest way to do it, actually just take my cutting wheel and cut this off right here. Get the window out of the way. And then I actually come up here with my grinding wheel in behind and just cut those off. Then once I get them cut off, I can pop this piece of steel forward and off of them, and then go up behind that piece of steel and grind them flush with the original surface of the bus. That's been the fastest way, but they're definitely the worst part of getting these windows out. Ways to get out these rivets, and I'll show you the easiest way that I've found is to center pop the center, then just drill a hole the size of the rivet that one pushed on through. Most of the times they don't. They stay in like this one right here. I just use my air hammer give it a bump, and there it goes. That's by far the easiest way I've found. Works a little better with two hands. Struggling a little bit there running the air hammer and the drill with one hand, but anyway, so you know, that's the easiest way that I've found. So I'll just get my drill and drill a whole bunch of them, and then come along with the air hammer, pop them out. You can go inside the bus, there will be little rivet corpses all over the floor in there. I just wanted to show you, I've got all of these two drilled out. And hopefully you can see this. I'm not sure. If you look on the floor, on the ground, I mean, I can't overestimate or overemphasize, that's the word I'm looking for, the amount of drilling and tearing you got to get these windows out. You can see all of that shrapnel. That's from just drilling rivets around the two windows. Crazy. So here it is again. You'll notice now I've got all of the holes drilled for all of the rivets. Went ahead and laid out and drilled all of those so that I can pull it off and then pull any burrs from the drilling before I put it back on with the sealant. So you'll notice on the rest of the bus that top skin is put on with a rivet every 1.5 inches. So I figured where I redid my window, this top skin is structural, so I put a rivet in there every 1.5 inches. The only trick is I need these to be flush because the window is going to put and seal right on there. So I bought some rivets that are flush mount rivets. So these ones around the window, I'm going to go ahead and countersink like that, so they'll fit in flush. Then as soon as I get those countersunk, I can pull all the metal off, clean everything up for burrs, and then put this section back here on permanently. Get back at it. Well, this is a day I've waited for some time. Been put off a little bit by weather. Also, you know, I have to work for a living. That's held me up a little bit. And just rounding stuff up. So, hoping this weekend, it's now Friday, midday, hoping by Sunday night to have all of this quarter section in and done, and windows, and looking sweet. So at the last minute, I decided to go ahead and get some etching primer for my aluminum to protect the back side. So I went ahead and sprayed all of those. This is what I used. It's SEM brand primer, self-etching. Got that from the auto body store. He said that this was good stuff for that. Anyway, so I got all of that done on the back side. Just another level of corrosion protection against the other metal and insulation. And then I've got everything else set up over here. So I have several different kinds of rivets. This rivet here is the 1/4 inch rivet. That's going to go anywhere that gets covered by a molding. Then I've got these here. There's a 3/16 inch rivet that goes anywhere that gets covered by a molding. Then I've got this rivet here, which is the flathead rivet that goes around my windows. It's a 3/16. And then over here I've got the shaved head 3/16 rivet, which goes anywhere where the rivet is visible. So I can shave off and it will look like a blind rivet. And then I've got the last one is these 1/4 inch shaved head rivets. And the only place I'm using those is where the hole is already drilled a 1/4 inch and I'm having to replace rivets. So anyway, 5 different kinds of rivets. I've got my Sikaflex sealant ready to go. I'm going to put that anywhere that the aluminum comes in contact with the steel. And there's my rivet gun, so I don't have to pump them in by hand. We're going to go ahead and get to work on this and see if we can get some metal on permanently. Back at it. I went ahead and got all of these panels on permanently. I'm not very good at filming while I work. Sorry about that. But you'll notice anywhere that I've got the moldings covering, I've just put a typical rivet there and along the bottom. Then in the field here, where they're not going to be covered, I've used what's called a shaved head rivet. And so now I just have to clip that stud off and then use a special tool that comes with it and smooth it so it ends up looking like a regular smooth rivet. My flush rivets around the window I think turned out great. Should seal just great with my mastic around the windows. I'm going to go ahead and get those put in today. There's some of my sealant gooping out. I was very careful not to have it gooping out everywhere. I have it out a bunch of places, like right there, but I also wanted to make sure that I had enough. Another little place it's gooping out, and again right there. I will tell you, along the top up there, I went ahead and got all of the side panels in completely and left all of those rivets out. Then I put a strip of tape across the aluminum because I didn't want to get goop all over it. And then I started right there and I pried with a little crowbar the radius top metal up and put my sealant under it. I just worked my way along until I had my sealant under the whole thing. Then I turned around and riveted everything. So although I had drilled all my holes in advance and everything went pretty smoothly, do keep a drill with you, because every once in a while you'll run into one where the rivet just won't pop in the hole. But other than that, it worked out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. You know, here's the 1/4" rivets that I put in. Those are also going to be shaved where the original bus connects in. And anyway, so there's those 2 windows ready to go. I'm not sure what was going on, but up there you'll notice a few of those busted off in the wrong spot. Mostly right through there. I'm not sure what that is, but I'll just easily hit those off with the grinder. So today I've got a helper coming. We're going to get these windows in. And until that helper gets here, I've got a few things in the shop I'm working on, and I'm going to work on getting them front 2 windows up there ready to go. Anyway, that's where we're at. When I get these windows all in and done, I will post a final video on the window. This 1/4 section of the bus almost complete. The final video of my rear windows. I got those in over the weekend. I think they look pretty hot, pretty nice. I'm really excited. The only thing that I struggled with a little bit, and I might try different on the next ones, is I used butyl tape. And where you're not screwing directly through and you're just kind of using the frame on the back to cinch it in, the frame on the inside just kind of flexes and twists and doesn't really put enough pressure to pull the butyl tape in. So I've been slowly snugging them down for a day or so, and I have got it oozing out everywhere now around the window. So I think it's going to work just fine. But on the front ones and on the rest of them, I'm going to at least try and see what I think of just the foam sealant rather than the butyl tape, and see if I like that better. I'm going to go ahead and caulk at least the top section of these windows anyway, but I think I'll give that a go. Anyway, just wanted you to see the final project. Now it's on to up here, pulling out those 2 windows up there. Going to get the windows in there, and then I'll pull these 2 windows and put the aluminum panel from that window back lapped onto this panel. But yeah, everything else worked pretty good. I think it tied in nicely. Looks just about like what was there before and how they did it. So I'm happy with the overall outcome of the project. Anyway, that's it for the windows. Please subscribe and follow along, and go ahead and hit the like button and comment if any comments you may have. We'll get back at it and put together a video on the next ones.